Hello everyone, this is Gwydion, and I thought I would create a video to do a couple turns of Mapmaker Adventures and show you how I've got it set up so that I can play it virtually and really even online with some friends if I wanted to do a multiplayer. So I'll show you the tools I'm using, some of which are available on the Kickstarter. So for right now, Hienhua, the gentleman who created the game, has released version 0.98 of the core rulebook, which is available on DriveThruRPG, and it's you should have a coupon or a discount code that you can grab it if you were a member of the Kickstarter. Otherwise, you can buy it for $10 right now, or you can still do a late pledge on, I think it's GameFound. So I can put some links in the video. So I've got the core rulebook, and it's almost finished. Hopefully, it can be it'll be finalized very soon. I'm also using the Mapmaker Adventures Book 1. Now, this is one of the very early versions before I submitted the proofs, so don't worry if you see a bunch of typos. Hopefully I caught a lot of them. And then I also made out of this book, if you look in the contents, the very first dungeon, there's actually several. The first one is a cave. So I just to make it easier, I just copied out the cave section as well. I've got my form fillable character sheet. I already created a character, so I won't go through this again. Character is Gwydion. He's a warrior level 1. And then I have a monster sheet that we can, if we get into a turn that has a monster encounter, I can show what this looks like. Some of the other things that I'm using are a virtual program called Vorpal Board. So I actually, I'll pan out for a second. I scanned in a bunch of these assets into Vorpal Board. So quickly, all of these brownish tokens are from a token pack I purchased from Roll20, except for these that have like the gold border around it. That's just my avatar that I put into a token tool. And then this is a giant rat I found on the internet and then just put it in token tool. So $9.99, I purchased, I think there's over 100 tokens, and I just brought in the ones that I thought I might need. Just for the record, I don't use Roll20. I use Fantasy Grounds almost exclusively. I'm now starting to use Vorpal Board, hopefully to run some board games. And I thought it'd be cool to put Mapmaker Adventure assets in here. So I scanned some of these things in. So let me keep going. These down here you can find on a site called gameicons.net. And a lot of these are free, so you can just download those and use them. I'm going to use them to signify the doors and doors that are locked, doors that are open, etc. And then you have some check marks that I don't remember where I got these now, but I use them in my role player game on Fantasy Grounds. So I brought in the dungeon sheet, as well as, let's see if I can go down to the, there we go, as well as a battlefield. So when we get into a battle, I'll show you how I'm going to use that. And then I brought in for the cave, these are all the assets, or I should say just all the dungeon tiles that are in the game that will roll on and that will help us generate our map. So really easy to scan these in. I just took snippet from the PDFs and then copied them in. And then I grabbed these banners somewhere on the internet and just filled in the names. So let's go back to my standard version here, or view. I already put in the door, so I'm going to leave this for now. Not a big deal, but that's where I'm going to have my dungeon entrance. The only other thing that I will show you is I created this board on Trello and made it public. And I tried to put in a lot of the information that I thought would be really useful for a GM screen for Mapmaker Adventures. So if you scroll down here, you're going to see all kinds of different information. I got the monster hierarchy and roles, conditions, skill lists, some of the rules that I wanted to know or just remember. So obviously these are all in the book. You can, in the PDF, you can certainly search for them, but I wanted to make it easier. And then the other thing, if we get to it, is I created for me, I created my character, just wanted to have some of like the specializations, the skills that I am proficient in, and the class skills. So if I ever wanted to remind myself, hey, what's bash mean? I put that in here. So I just thought that'd be an easy way to keep track of it. All right, so let's start. So if you go back, I can show you, go back to my board. So if you go back, you select an entrance, which I have. select a direction. Now, in the very first title, if you watch Yinhua's video that he did a couple of years ago, you don't, as I understand it, you don't encounter the door. You're basically going in the dungeon, so you don't need to do this. So we're going to roll for mapping the tile, and I won't open all of these, but I wanted you all to know they're here so that if you do want to use these yourself to run through them, you can. And again, I'll put the link in the video below, or maybe I can put it on a card if I remember. So, okay. So let's go back to Vorpal Board. I've created D20 and I put 1 on the table. And then I've also created some positive and negative modifiers if those come into play. So I'm just going to click on the D20 to roll it and I get an 11. So let's see what that tells us if we go into our cave dungeon rank, page down to the map, past the doors. Okay. So I'm at the very beginning, so I know it's top left, right. I mean, it's basically all of the locations or directions, I should say, are open to me. So let's go back here, and I rolled an 11. So 11 means that we're going to go to the right. So I need to find right. So here's right. So let's go ahead, and it's going to limit my choices. But let's go ahead and roll on the right table. And we get a 3. So on the right table, 3 is this very first tile right here. So if you go back, probably do that more than once, apologize. So we're going to go to right, and 3 was the very first tile here. I'm going to click on it, hit D to duplicate, and then I'm going to move it over here, and then I'm going to control 1 because I've saved a couple of views to make it easier. So now I drag it over here. I'm going to hit R to rotate it. I'm going to drag it, make it a little bit bigger. I don't want it to totally take up the door, but I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to lock it. So remember, although I'm not doing it, technically if I'm starting here, up is this way, right is this way, left is this way. Remember how you're supposed to rotate the map every time? Just to make it easier, I'm not doing that. So, okay. So as I adjust here. So now that we've done that, let's go back to our Trello board. So we map the tile and now we roll for an encounter, right? So when we do this, there's an encounter bar. We're on the upper bar. And after we draw the map tile, you roll an encounter and you advance 1 step on the encounter bar. And you can tick mark it. I'll show you how I'm going to handle that. But you basically want to show that you've made 1 step on that encounter bar. So let's go back here. Let's roll our D20 for our encounter. 2. And I'll go back to our PDF. And so remember, these are in the adventure book is what I'm looking at right now. Interesting. So the first thing I get is an NPC. So the way the NPC encounters work, and I'm going to go back to my map so I can map this. So what I've done is I've got all these tokens here. So here are all my event tokens. I wish that wasn't right in my way. I'm going to move this just a bit, and I'll remember that next time. Let's do this. I'm going to do Control-Alt-2 and save that so that I get out of the way of the dice roller. So here are my events right here. This is going to signify empty if I'm in an empty room, the spider web. This like dice with flames on it is going to be enhancement. This one here is event, the map. I don't know. I couldn't find one that I liked. This one is monster. Here's NPC, trap, treasure, and stairs. So let's duplicate the NPC by hitting D. And I think I'm going to move this and decide to do this in the upper right. So let's drag it. Let's make it really small. I'm going to make it up in the right corner, and then I'll lock it. And I don't think it matters for this, but I want to be consistent. So that was a number 2. So it probably doesn't matter, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. And, oh, sorry, I'm already scroll out. We're going to find the number 2 here, token, duplicate it, move it all the way down. And I'm going to make it as small as I can. Then I'm going to drag it down here. And then I'm going to lock it. So it kind of signifies that I moved on. I know it's an NPC encounter, and if I ever needed to go back and look, I could find it. But let's see what that means. Let's find the NPC encounter. Enhancement, event, monster encounter. Okay, and play a non-player character. So what you would do normally, and I think all of these are going to cost money, and honestly, I can't pay for them. But this would tell you what he has available. So I don't know if that's. I don't think he's there when you go back. In fact, if we look at, so I know I can't buy something right now. Let's go back to this real quick so you can see me. I'm going to go to the board and look for the NPC encounter. There's the NPC encounter. So let's see, they're not specific who have a name. They are a type of character such as Goblin Peddler, which is the one that we found. What they provide is generated randomly by rolling a die. So let's see. They're constantly moving, so you will not meet them again when you come back. So I don't need to signify anything in there. But what I will do is I can either search the room or explore. So if you look back at the anatomy of a turn, counter the door, map the tile, roll for an encounter. We did that, resolve it. In this case, I'm not going to be able to buy anything because I'm out of money, but I can search or explore the room. So I'm going to search. So to search the room, you're going to roll on the treasure table to see if you do find anything. Now, no matter which you choose, and I think I might highlight that for everyone, whether you do an exploration or a search, it costs 1 stamina, and you can only do it once per room. So I'm just going to do this, highlight, and then save it. So let's go ahead and go back to the board. And I didn't encounter a door on this one, so let's just roll. So I rolled an 11, and so I need to find the search. I think it's called like a treasure table. That's rarity, trap, treasure. So you'll notice over here, sometimes you'll loot if it's after a monster encounter or if it's an event. But in this case, we're searching. So I rolled an 11. So I can determine, let's go back and look at this. I think it tells you. I might not have it, but let's look. So search or explore room. So search, refer to the gain items section to know how to roll in the treasure table. And it does say leave a marker to know you've searched it. So see if I copied over that in my miscellaneous rules. Don't think I did. Experience, reputation. Okay, I'll have to do that later. But let's do a couple of things first. So I know my recollection is you can decide, like for me as a warrior, I want strength. So you can decide like, hey, strength is what my guy wants. He's got an 11, so he can get an arming cap. So that's what he finds. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the board. I want to signify that I've searched. So I kind of have these little eyeglasses to signify a search. So I'm going to duplicate that. Move this down. And I'm going to put my searches in the bottom right every time. So we'll put this down here. We'll lock it. So we know we've searched. And then we also have to signify it on the board down here. I think I'm just going to do like a little red check because it's stamina. So it's kind of, I don't know, I'll do red instead of green. So these are your stamina bars down here. Once you get through too many of them, you're going to have to do a rest. Oh, too small. Get a little bit bigger. Just move it down there. We'll lock it. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my camera view. That's just, there we go. Okay, so I've done that. So now I'm ready for my next. Now I need to encounter the door. And right now, the only real option I have is the door at the bottom. So if I had rotated this, that's going to be top. So I'm going to be looking only at the top. And I'm going to roll. So I got a 5, and that should be, let's go all the way back up. Oh, shoot. We'll remember that. Let's put the arming cap on my character sheet. There's a lot to remember. So I've got this here. So I'm going to put, let's see what that is. I assume arming cap is that for your head? Let's look. I think it'll be in the Mapmaker Adventure book. Let's just cheat and say arming cap. Okay. So here it is. So I don't know anything about this one, but this is what we found. So it's head, it's a helmet, Strength requirement 3 and defense is 3. So let's see if that's better than what I have. Yeah, it is. And my defense or my strength, I need a 3 and I've got a 4. So let's do that. So I'm going to cut this, and I think I can do this. But for now, I'm going to put it down into my backpack. So let's do that. I don't know. I guess I'll just say slot 1. Requirement. Let's just copy all this over. So that's strength 2. Now, I think I've made this on the next version. I think I made this just a fill-in. I probably tried to do too much by making this a drop-down. So I think I just made that a fill-in. So let's say defense. Cut that. Here. Paste. Property. This is for magic. So there's no magic properties, magical properties. Cut that, and that's worth 5. Put that down there. Oh. Okay, so that's the head wrap, so I can get rid of that. And I know this one is going to be, oh, that's interesting, because it's not showing the drop down anymore. Oh, it's where it did before, but let's see this. We know this is a strength 3. That's a strength 3. So let's go back to the book. Arming cap, so head, helmet is the type, strength 3, defense 3, durability 8, price 7. Defense 3, durability 8, and price is 7. This is arming cap. And so what we'll do, since the defense is 3, and that's only your head. So actually what we'll do up here, and this is what I had tried to do for the others. So for my head, my defense now is going to be 3. So I have 7. So to hit, normally your defense is 7 for your head, 1 for your torso, 5 for arms, and 3 for legs. But in this case, I'll be able to make my head is going to be 10 torsos, 4 arms. I don't have anything in legs. So, okay. Glad I didn't forget that. So we did that. We did a 5 on the top, I think. I remember right. So let's go back to the, and even if I didn't, it doesn't hurt anything. Let's go to the dungeon. Let's go back to the top. And let's go down to the map. Okay. So we're going to do top. And we're going to do 5. So it's this one right here. So it's the second one on the top. And these numbers, obviously this 3 to 5 means if you roll 1 to 20, this is the tile you take. If you do an exploration, and I'd have to look at the, but I know that this represents the skill and what difficulty you have to pass to succeed in your exploration. And get an exploration point, I believe. This is knowledge. This might be medicine. I don't remember offhand, but that's how these might come into play. So let's go back. Let's go back to top, and it was this one, wasn't it? 5, yeah. So it's this one. So we'll duplicate it, drag it down here. Let's go back to 1. All right, so let's move it down here. Top. Yeah, and I think I can just leave it like that. So let's kind of make it a little bigger. Okay, I like that. And we'll lock it in place. Oh, got it. Man, see, I do this every time. That should have been the door. We encounter the door first. There's just a lot to remember, so I'll get better at this. So let's just go back and we'll encounter the door with that 5. No big deal. All right, awesome. So you pick your way past the stone arch. So there's nothing nothing blocking our way. So let's go back. We'll do the stone arch again. That's pretty lucky. We will rotate this 1, 2, make it super small. Put it right on the edge here so it's not blocking the map. Unlock or lock it. And so now we can roll. And again, if you think about it, we're looking for the top. So let me go back. Let me go ahead and roll my D20. 14 on the top. So top 14 is going to be here. So it's the third from the right. Quicker as we go. Top third from the right. So it's this one. Duplicate it. Move it down. Move it down. And I think, right? I guess it doesn't matter technically which. I'll do this way. I don't know if I have that right. So we'll do that here. Okay, and then we'll lock it. And now, so we pass through because that's an open entrance. So now let's roll for our encounter. So we got a 4 in our encounter. So let's go back and look for encounters. It's a monster. Perfect. So we're going to have a monster encounter. And let's go to monster. We'll duplicate it. Put it down here. Make it small. Put it up in the right corner here so I know I'm encountering a monster. Let's lock it. And then we will go down and look for, we're going to have to roll for the monster. So let's go down here. Okay, monster encounter. So we'll go back to our board and roll for a monster. 7. So 7 is Goblin Archer. So let's do a few things. I'm going to find, I created something that looks like a goblin. This guy right here. I duplicate it. Move him down here. So we're going to move this. And what I'll do, since that was a 7, let's do this too, because I know we're going to have to move one more on the encounter bar. So let's duplicate that. Make this small. Move this down. Let's lock it. Okay. So what I thought I would do, and I haven't tested this out yet, so let's move him down here. Gonna make him a little bit smaller. All right. Maybe just a little bit bigger. Okay, we'll just move it there for now. So until I know the initiative order, I'm going to leave him there. So we will go back, and what I want to do is say, okay, Goblin Archer, he's a soldier in his hierarchy, and he's a guerrilla role. So let's remember that. Goblin Archer. Wait, 7. Goblin Archer. Is that a 7? Yeah. Archer, soldier, and guerrilla. So we're going to go to our monster sheet, and we're going to say Goblin Archer. So he's a soldier, so I'm going to make that up here so we don't, oh, soldiers down here, and guerrilla. So thought I made this to where you couldn't click on more than one. I guess you can, that's all right. So now I know he's a guerrilla, and he's a soldier. So let's copy over a few of his stats. I don't think I need everything. So I think the main things I'm going to track for now are his defense and his hit points. You could do all of this if you want. So let's go to the cave and let's find the Goblin Archer. Okay. So here's the Goblin Archer. So he's got a 7 defense. So I think the way this works is it's normally 7. I think. Looks like if you look at the goblins, I'm just looking at their, oh, head over here is 8. And defense, it's interesting. But what I'm going to do, because I think this is relevant, I'll do 7. I'll put 3 in for defense here, 5, 4. And then this is irrelevant because he's not a minion. So I'll do 7, 3, 5, 4, I think. So we'll go 7, 3, 5, 4. And then we go to 5, 4, hit points 2, 5, 3, 4, 3. 2, 5, 3, 4, 3. You could probably do it right, but the reason I'm doing this, 2, 5, 3, 4, Doesn't have wings. Does he have it? Oh, it's tail. I think that's right. Yep. So I need to know these other things, but let's not. I'm just going to worry about the hit points. So we'll say location 2. So what that means is if you go back, oh, sorry, too many PDFs open. Location 2. So we're going to duplicate him again. And what we're going to do is move one of these down to 2. So we'll put him on the combat section here. And let's look at his initiative. His initiative is 5. Wow. He's definitely going to beat me. So what we're going to do is we'll just move him. He'll be first in initiative order. And then I will be second. So I've got my little token down here. So I will move, I think we're good here, to this camera so that we can kind of start tracking the battlefield. And if you go back to the setup of the monster encounter type, so action order, initiative, take the order of the monster's initiative, put the symbols. Oh, if a character's initiative reaches 3 times more than the enemy with the lowest initiative, she gains an additional action. That's cool. But they're not. So, okay. So, oh, what I wanted to remind myself is where do I move my character? So let's say, why am I not seeing it? Oh, here it is. So action order. I know there's a place, I keep finding these little mistakes, not a big deal. I'm pretty sure I put myself, does it tell me where? Because I'm pretty sure I go on 6 to 8, if I remember right. And the monsters are 4 to 6, but I'm pretty sure it should say it here, I think. Counter will tell you here. Action order, let's look again. No, it doesn't tell me there. Character's turn. You guys are seeing. I know I've seen it, but I just can't remember exactly where. But I know, I think they're 1 through 4. I'm pretty sure it's 6 to 8, and I'll try to find that later, but we'll just keep playing for now. So let me duplicate this, and then I will put me on 6 to 8. But let's see what his action is before I decide where I want to be, because he's on 2. So he's a gorilla. So is there, oh no, soldier, sorry. Gorilla will be his tactic. So during an attack, if there are any other monsters adjacent to the target, so that's not gonna, it's not gonna come into play. That's good. So he's got a range of 3, so he can shoot me 3 tiles away. Damage 1 to 5. So let's look again at the Trello board. And let's go all the way. So soldier, you have the same information here. Sanity's not applied. Fine. They don't have the advantage of sanity. Okay. And then gorilla. The target is within range, perform the attack, then move to a row just out of all characters' range, or move to a row farthest from all characters. That's not good. Otherwise, move 1 row closer and attack. +1 to the attack. So maybe I'll, yeah, I don't like the fact that, I think I'm going to make him move to me if I can. So, because I'll take the +1, but I don't want him to move out of my range, and I don't have a ranged weapon. So in this case, he's at 2. So right now he'd have to move in because his range is 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's fine. We'll make him move to us. So, okay. So let's start the first round. So he goes first. So I have my little initiative token here. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. So he's in the row next to me. Actually, does it tell me how many rows he moves? Move 1 row closer to the target and attack. Okay. So he's going to move here, attack me. All right. So let's go back to his stats. Attack speed is 3, so he gets 3. He gets 3 dice to attack me with. And what I'm trying to remember is initiative 5, attack speed, range, damage 1 to 5. I think I'll look this up later, but I'm pretty sure he just, if you look back on my character sheet, I think he's still here in the 1 to 5 in terms of attack effectiveness, but I'm trying to remember, how do I know that? How do I know that? His damage is 1 to 5, his range, attack speed, initiative, location. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look because I'm, and maybe it's the level 1. I know there's in the rule book. Maybe I can find it quickly. See if I can find it in the core rule book. Let's look down here. Create your character, skill list, playing the game, monster encounter. Let's look here. Get monsters ready in their hierarchy. And I think there's a table in here. Attacking, movement, monster's turn. Like the target. Huh. Monster's turn. I know it's in here somewhere, but I just can't find it. All conditions, select the target. Take a look at the monster skill. Moving. Resolve monster's attack. Defense for the character. Yeah, we'll go back. It's bothering me that I can't find, but that's all right. So let's roll the D20, and I just don't think he has any 11. Oh, I get to pick. Yeah, let's go back. I get to pick what to defend with. So, this is what I wanted to find. I should have looked at this. They use the same attack effectiveness as we mentioned above. Character use the row. You need to check the table below to find the corresponding attributes based on the monster level. So monster level is 1, his attribute value is 3, and there were no other bonuses, so he is in the first column. Great. All right, but what did we say again? Sorry. Gorilla. So he moves 1, and he adds +1 to attack. So what that means is he rolled an 11. So we'll go back to here. So he's in this column. He rolled an 11, but he gets a +1. So he is at half, 12 to 15. So let's look at what he's at. He's at half. And so his damage would be 1 to 5. So half, if I remember right, isn't half. It's just the midpoint. So at 2.5, you round up to 3. That one more time. I might have to put those in my GM screen, but let's find. Here we go. The attack lands. So it's min plus max divided by 2. Okay, I'm glad I looked at that. So min plus max divided by 2. So minimum plus max. So that 6 divided by 2 is 3. So he's 3, and I should have called this. Again, I'm learning. I think I would have probably said, what do I have? Probably torso, because I've got padded armor. So that's at 3 plus 1 is 4. I think I would have safely said that. So that's his first attack. So he got a 3, and I've got a defense of 3 plus 1 is 4. So let's see, what would I do? So he gets, that's 1 attack. And he has attack speed 3, so he'll do 2 more attacks. So what do I want? So I would have to, if I decide to do my torso again, I'd have to lower this by 1 if I have him attack the same, or if I defend the same spot. So let's see. This is interesting. This game's interesting. I don't really want to use my head, but what would he have to roll? So if he rolls a crit, which is 19, so, I mean, there's a chance. If he rolls a crit, he would do, if I remember right, it's the max of crit, you attack leads, critical blow, and then it's the max plus the max minus min. And so max plus the max minus min. So he would definitely hit me. Boy, I think I'm going to do legs. I don't know why. I don't have anything on there, but I'm going to do legs. So let's roll for him again. Let's go back to my... So does he get a plus? I think he gets a +1 on each attack, I assume. Oh, absolutely. He's going to miss that badly. So that's 2. So he has 1 more. So let's do, I'm going to roll the dice, man. I'm going to do head. Let's do it. Rolling the head. Whew, 9. So I could do all the math, but I know that's not going to work, or that's not going to work for him. So that's awesome. Okay, let's close that. And I'm going to move the initiative to me. Okay. I think I'll call it after this turn. But, all right. So I already, if you'll notice, some of my stats look too, like they're too high. I've used the short sword, but I've also got bonuses for my, for some of my skills. So if you scroll down, and I didn't put them in here for now, but my specializations give some skills, and my shield block. Actually, I probably should have looked at that. Didn't come into play, but let's look one more time at that. Did put that in my character. Shield block. Shield block. The enemy gains -1 to its attack. Oh, so that's good to know, because if he did hit, and it could, or actually, you know, if he made it to like half or the next category, that could modify it and take it out of that category. That's good to know. All right. Okay, so we are going to do our dice. So I'm just going to roll. I get 4, so I'm going to roll individual dice one at a time. So I'm going to go after his, what will we say? Oh, we can go back to his monster sheet now. So this is his defense, and this is the amount. Let's just try to get him. Let's do his head. His defense is 7, so I'm going to have to roll really high, but let's try it. So let's roll. So I got a 13. Let's go back to mine. I got a 13. And then I did this because I think this is my short sword modifier. So it's 13. I'm still in this column though. So 13, 14, 15. Oh, I just stayed in the half. So I'm a half. So my half is 5. And his defense is 7. So that missed. All right. So I missed on that one. So if I go after his head, that'll go up even more. So let's go for his arms. Okay, let's do his arms. So we'll go back. So this is my second attack. I wonder if I should do something in the future, maybe that ticks off and makes it easier to remember, but no big deal. All right, so we'll do 7. Let's go back to my character sheet. 7, 8, 9. So that's minimum's 3. And his legs are 4, so I didn't hit him there. Or no, his arms were 5. Let's go after, and actually I should probably get rid of this because remember, sanity doesn't come into play for soldiers. Let's go after his legs. Why not? So this is our third attack. And again, I'm not trying to maximize this. Like I probably could have done this a lot better. I could have done the max roll, or I forget what it's called when you roll all your dice and you're just looking for the massive push, I think. So I got a 15 this time. And I'm going after his legs, I think. So 15, 16, 17. So I hit max. So max is 6. Max is 6 against his legs 4. So what that means is I beat his defense. So I take off 1. So that goes down to 3, his health points. So almost every time if you do hit something, it goes down to 3. Now, what I don't know here, since I have my last attack, I don't know if I go back, since I've already done legs, arms, and head. I haven't done torso. I think if you do 2 in the same round, that's got to be how it works. But because I know when you're attacking, select a body part, defending, distribute attacking dice. I just want to look at this. Average hit is what I've been doing. Select a body part to roll the dice you allocated, select another or the same part, roll, and so on. If you select the same body part as your initial attack, increase the defense by 1. I'm going to have to ask Yin-Wan about that, because what I don't know is if I go head, torso, and then head, does that mean I do have to take, he gets +1 the second time I hit, or if you at least alternate, does it change? Let's see. Well, I'm gonna say on the same turn, I guess, that you do have to switch it up. So I'll just go after his torso. Why not? Or actually, you know what? I'll go after his legs again. So I'm gonna say that his defense goes from 4 to 5. But we'll do his legs with my last attack. Come on. Ooh, 17. 17. So 17, 18, 19. So 19 is a crit. So a crit is 9. Yeah, I already did the math here, so it's 9, which should be, yeah. So let's go back. So obviously, he goes down to 2. So in this case, then we would say, okay, let's go back to the monster, and we would do that order all over again. So, I mean, I think this is going to work pretty well. Let me just go back to a different view, but I like it. You know, I think it's, I think the tokens are going to work. I think I could save this now, and if I wanted to come back to it, I could come back to it. I think the combat, so there's my numbers down here, and I think the combat battlefield down here works pretty well. I am going to have to find, but I'm almost positive you start 6, 7, or 8, and then the monsters start wherever they told you. So anyway, I think that's it for today, everyone. I hope this was helpful, and I'll try to get some more rules clarifications and get Yin-Wan to tell me if I'm doing this right. But appreciate everyone, and I hope to get that second book soon and start proofing it for you all and keep you updated on the progress. Pop into my Discord if you want, and if you want to talk all things Mapmaker, I'll post a link in the video below. Thanks, everyone.